Live from 2 on your side, this is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
Right now on Daybreak, countries strike back as tariffs take center stage. More on how the Trump administration pushes forward in negotiating with our neighbors at the borders.
Plus, a new year, a new trial. More on the man accused of trying to kill a world-famous author here in Western New York.
And we're celebrating Western New York and the students who may be coming for our jobs.
Good morning, everybody. It is 6 a.m. on Tuesday, February 4th. Thanks for starting your morning with us here on Daybreak. I'm Melissa Holmes.
And I'm Pete Gallivan, and we are looking at a kind of a crunchy morning out there, right around freezing. But the good news, Patrick, is it's warm enough that the salt is working on the roads.
That very good point, Pete. Yeah, temperatures are beginning to slide a bit, but yeah, we're in that, close to freezing mark. So a little bit of the freezing drizzle that we had overnight should be treatable today. But numbers are going to trend down as we go into the afternoon. We're right around 30 degrees now, but we're going to be closer to 20 by this afternoon. Also, a couple of snow showers are possible. A northwest wind is going to bring some of this moisture from the upper lakes and perhaps bring us a couple of midday showers of snow. You can see those developing. Here they are, right around lunch. A little burst of snow here or there as temperatures slide. Yeah, by noon, we're 27. By this afternoon, only in the low 20s. I like how Pete described the roads this morning, Dave. Crunchy.
Yeah, they definitely are crunchy and icy, especially neighborhood side streets. They did send out some crews earlier last night, but you're going to find some of even the secondary roads that are icy this morning. You can just barely see there. There is a car that slid off. This is the 90 West ramp to the inbound 33. It went off the right side of the road, so slow down so you don't slide into that. And reduce your speed on all of the on and off ramps, bridges and overpasses, and neighborhood side streets, which may not have gotten much traffic to work the salt into the surface yet this morning. Here's the 290 East, light volume on the right side, heading past Main Street and getting onto the 90 West ramp, and everything moving well on the 190 North and South through downtown Buffalo at Church Street and the Skyway. Back to you, Pete and Melissa.
All right, Dave, thanks very much. 6:02 now on Daybreak, and first this morning, there have been a lot of changes when it comes to tariffs over the past 24 hours. What you need to know right now, tariffs on Mexico and Canada are on hold.
But overnight tariffs against China did go into effect, and China responded with taxes of its own. Chinese goods coming to America will face a 10% tax. And in return, China will now tax U.S. coal, natural gas, oil, and pickup trucks, among other products. Tariffs to our immediate neighbor to the north have been paused for 30 days as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he promises more cooperation on the border. Tariffs were also paused against Mexico as negotiations continue over the next month.
As the tariffs in Canada have now been paused, there is still some lingering concern. Western New York could be one of the first places in the country to feel the impact, given our close ties to Ontario. Two on your side spoke with a professor of supply chain practices at Syracuse University about how this back and forth on tariffs could impact trade.
So, we buy a lot of produce from Mexico specifically, automotive parts, automotive components. We get a lot of other different types of components from Mexico. Canada is the same way: grains, potatoes, lumber, wood, automotive. There's just a lot of stuff that goes back and forth across these different borders. So that's the problem. In business, we like predictability. We like to know exactly what we're paying. When you have these tariffs that come into play, it just disrupts everything.
Penfield told Two on your side that if these tariffs were to impact any industry, the greatest would most likely be the automotive industry.
6:04 on Daybreak, and happening today, the jury trial for the man accused of trying to kill author Salman Rushdie is scheduled to begin. Hadi Matar faces charges including attempted murder, assault, and providing support to terrorists. Investigators say Matar stabbed Rushdie at the Chautauqua Institution back in 2022. Rushdie ended up partially blinded. The trial has been rescheduled multiple times, and just last year, Matar rejected a plea deal which would have shortened his potential prison term. Court documents show Matar's due in Chautauqua County Court at 9:30 this morning.
Also today, the retired Buffalo police officer accused of shooting a teenager is expected to be back in court. 65-year-old Antonio Roman was charged with assault and reckless endangerment after the incident, which took place outside of the Marine Drive apartments last February. Roman's accused of approaching a group of people suspected of stealing from vehicles and then shooting a 14-year-old in the leg. He's pled not guilty to the charges, but could face up to 25 years in prison if convicted.
Today in Albany, acting Buffalo Mayor Chris Scanlon will give testimony at the New York State Capitol. Scanlon's office says he will testify before the New York State Joint Legislative Budget Committee. We're told that he will advocate for key legislative and funding priorities for the city of Buffalo. Scanlon is expected to give that testimony around noon today.
This morning, a boil water order is in effect for the village of Fredonia and the town of Pomfret. Every Fredonia water customer is being warned to boil water for themselves and their pets because there was a disruption of the disinfection system. According to Fredonia officials, customers will be notified when the water is safe to use again.
Well, following other local municipalities, Lackawanna City Council has now voted to ban Airbnbs. The measure passed 3-2 in last night's meeting. The ban covers short-term rentals in all districts of the city. The vote officially changes the municipal code in Lackawanna. Back in December, the city of Buffalo passed a temporary ban on any new permits for short-term rentals.
And North Tonawonda's mayor touted economic growth during his State of the City address. Austin Tyler says that he remains focused on business growth and attracting visitors to North Tonawanda. Another major takeaway, the mayor noted that the city's finances are in much better shape. Its reserves have grown from $300,000 to $3 million.
Paramedics rushed one firefighter to the hospital after a house fire in Corfu. Crews arrived to find the flames coming from that home on East Main Street. The injured firefighter, we're told, fell off a ladder. Fortunately, no one was inside the home at the time of the fire. We're told the owner and her pets were all away when the fire started. 7 separate fire departments had to battle those flames. The county's director of emergency management says that the home does appear to be a total loss. 6:07 now on Daybreak, and tonight the Sabres finish their homestand as Columbus comes to town, and the Sabres are going to be trying to stay hot and push their winning streak to 4 games.
Yeah, I can't remember when they've gotten to 4 games. It's been a while. And a big part of those last 3 wins, though, has been thanks to the team's star forward, Tage Thompson. Thompson has been named the NHL's 2nd Star of the Week. He led the league with 4 goals and 4 assists in those 3 games, including a hat trick against Boston last week.
He's a special talent. I think he finds ways to score goals in a lot of different ways. I mean, people talk about his big shot, and of course he has that. But his goal tonight, he goes to the, drives to the paint, gets kind of a tricky rebound goal. He makes a lot of little plays. He's a big part of our team.
And now something quick to note: the Sabres called up Isaac Rosen from Rochester yesterday. Coach Lindy Ruff confirmed that Tage passed all the tests after taking that big hit the other night, but we will get further confirmation on his status this morning at the morning skates.
And again, you were saying, Pete, that the guy who hit Tage Thompson, Stefan
Nostrom,
no penalty from the NHL other than being ejected for the rest of the game.
Yeah, player safety looked at it and said the game misconduct was enough. So,
kind of controversial.
If that was a football play, that would be a huge fine, right? Or a suspension or something.
But shoulder to the head is never good, right? A lot of people think he could have avoided it, but I guess the NHL thinks otherwise.
Yeah, well, split second. I mean, it's a fast game, so. All right, they're the experts.
All right, Ted, let's talk about the return to some coolness here in February, a month that is looks to be on the wintry side. Yes, temperatures in the long range are going to trend a little warmer compared to January, but cold enough that we're going to see periods of snow and mixed precipitation for a couple of weeks, an active weather pattern setting up over the eastern lakes, including western New York. Today, just a few snow showers moving through, temperatures in the 20s. Tomorrow, cold again, low to mid-teens. Tomorrow afternoon, we're in the 20s. We'll get some peaks of sun. We'll call it partly sunny tomorrow. But as you see in the long range here, we've got some ice well, snow to ice and then maybe to rain on Thursday. And then another system we're watching for the weekend. Later Saturday, snow begins. It looks like it could be late afternoon, but most likely in the evening. So much of Saturday's quiet, but then that system approaches. Could be on the windy side too. Sunday, we'll have some snow showers. So there you go. Yeah, into next week, it looks like we'll have a couple more of these systems to track as we head towards Valentine's Day. And that's next week. All right. Natalie, good morning.
Hey, Patrick, good morning. Coming up next on Daybreak, I'll bring you into one local high school and introduce you to some students who are working hard to bring their peers the daily news. And who knows, you might see them on your screen one day in the future.
Welcome back, 6:13 on Daybreak. Let's get another check of the roads right now with Dave Cash. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning to you, Melissa and Pete. Slow down and move over for a stranded motorist on the ramp from the 90 west to the inbound 33. The driver of that vehicle was just outside his vehicle in the last couple of moments. So again, good reason to really heed the move over laws, especially in these icy conditions. As you head out the door this morning, the major routes are up to speed with light volume, no accidents to report. Here's the 90 east at the on-ramp from the 400 on the right side of your screen, and everything is moving well on Grand Island on the 190 south. On the right across the South Grand Island Bridge between now and midnight, no canceled flights in or out of Western New York at the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. And tonight they will have lane restrictions for overhead sign and inspection both inbound and outbound on the 33 between Humboldt Parkway and Bailey Avenue. Back to you, Pete and Melissa.
All right, Dave, thanks for the heads up. It is 6:14 now, and we're celebrating your school this morning, and specifically West Seneca West, where every morning students put on a newscast, very similar to what we do here on Daybreak.
And our Natalie Foss got a look behind the scenes to see how they pull it all together.
Every morning, students at West Seneca West High School put on their very own morning show.
We will, over the course of 4 days, create videos that we end up putting on TV for our kids in other classes to watch. And we go live, none of it is cut down, none of it is edited, which I think is wonderful.
TV is a grade-bearing class where over 100 students will work together in teams to broadcast the morning announcements live to the school.
It's a lot of hands-on stuff. I mean, you're not sitting here taking notes or anything like that. It's all hands-on. The creativity aspect is huge. Nothing you do is given to you. You always come up with your own mind.
West TV is a whole production, complete with a set, a green screen, a control room, and even teleprompters.
There's a lot of exposure to a lot of advanced technology. You get we have soundboards, we have really high-end camera equipment, we have all of our lighting, our whole, obviously our whole setup here.
And every single broadcast is run 100% by the students.
It feels kind of awesome because you feel more grown up, okay, I gotta take this seriously, I have to make sure I get this right.
Most of them said the biggest challenge they tend to face is the amount of teamwork it takes to do a show, but they love the way it feels after it goes well.
It's hard, but then you get to know the people you work with, and then it's you bond with them, and it's much easier. But at first, when we start a new group, it's the hardest thing to do.
But the students don't do it completely alone.
What's your favorite part of the class?
The teacher.
Stephen Greger and Jeff Root co-teach the class, helping the students throughout the entire process.
An interesting class to run as a teacher because it's so student-centered, so student-led. So really we're just overseeing the entire process, being a second set of eyes, helping with ideas, and kind of guiding them as they grow.
The students do 2 to 3 practice runs before the final broadcast. Root says that when they go live, it's their time to work through any problems they may have as a team.
It's hard to know that you have to back off and let them make the mistakes and let them see their mistakes so they know what to correct in the future.
While a few of the students in the class are interested in working in broadcast, Root says the teamwork and communication skills they learn are transferable to any future plans.
For college, I am going to go into sports management as a major and hopefully go into the media field of it. So I think this is going to help a lot with interviews and just talking and connecting with people.
The show is broadcast throughout the school on smart boards and online. And although each show is different, it always ends the same way.
Have a great day, West.
So a little bit of bragging moment for their teacher and their principal. They wanted me to let everyone know they have never missed a broadcast. They have had kids get sick. They've had videos not be turned in on time because they're high schoolers, and they've still always gone live. And they're so professional. Oh my gosh, I was so impressed with them.
The news never stops, huh?
Nope.
The show must go on.
Always.
It's amazing to see the technology that these schools have now. When I was at Sweet Home and I knew that I wanted to go into broadcasting, I asked if I could do the morning announcements, and I had a little microphone in a tiny little closet off the main office, and that was it. But now they've got, a morning show too, and really, really great equipment, and it's great that these kids can try something, so professional in high school.
Yeah, absolutely. I was a major at performing arts and media arts, and
they had media back then?
They did. It was stone tablets, and it was basically our version of newspapers, but
chiseling away.
The headlines.
That's right.
All right, let's get to it. Show what's going on weather-wise. Good morning, everyone. We've got temperatures today that are going to be falling into the 20s, low 20s by this afternoon. 28 is kind of like a mid-morning temperature, but then we slide. 15 tonight, 26 tomorrow, with temperatures staying cool. We do warm it up on Thursday, but that has some consequences. Okay, I'll explain. All right, there are some snow showers crossing the upper lakes. We could see a few of those later on today. So, or I should say later on this morning into the afternoon. Afternoon temperatures today, low 20s with a few snow showers possible. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, temperatures still in the 20s. Okay. Here we go. For today, a couple of snow showers. You can see those developing late morning into the afternoon. 5 o'clock, temperatures close to 20 degrees. As that northwest wind picks up a little bit, it's going to feel cold. Tomorrow morning, a cold morning, frigid. Lows in the low teens. And then tomorrow, we're going to see, after a day in the 20s, we're going to begin to warm up. Not necessarily where we live, but up high, which means snow initially will begin to transition to ice when the temperatures up here are warmer than down here. Your head is warmer than your feet. Think of it that way, okay? And when that happens, you can get some ice. It doesn't look like a major ice event, if you will, but we could get 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain or ice, and that could make for some slippery roads, especially in the southern tier where the accumulation could be a little higher. Then notice in the afternoon, we're all closer to 40 with some scattered rain showers once that ice moves through. In terms of accumulation, it's not going to be too problematic, but when you start getting into the 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch and you have some wind, that could cause some tree limbs to come down a little more easily. A 35 to 40 mile an hour wind may have more of an effect because there's ice on the tree limbs. So that's something we need to watch out for as well. Snow showers, temperature slide today, 28. Tonight, down to 15, cold. Long range forecast, dry weather on Friday. Saturday, snow develops late. May mix with some sleet Saturday night and snow showers into Sunday. Temperatures again cooler. As we head into the south towns in the southern tier, same situation. Snow develops late on Saturday, spreading into the evening. It may mix to some sleet, back to snow showers on Sunday. Cold again to start next week.
It is 6:24 now on Daybreak, and there's a major NFL bombshell to talk about this morning.
Yeah, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, has requested a trade out of Cleveland. In a statement, the defensive end shared his desire to win a Super Bowl now. However, the Browns general manager has made it clear he has no intention of trading Garrett. So, could the Bills poke their noses into the conversation? Well, reminder, here's what Brandon Beane had to say late last week when specifically asked about this team's need to add a premier pass rusher.
I don't know many teams are going to hand you a Chris Jones or a game wrecker. They're probably sewed up. You know what I mean? Like you look around, there's not a lot of players that make 28 to 30 some $1 million a year, which I think is kind of what those high-end defensive players are making. We're not ever picking in the top 5, 10. Not to say you can never get those guys. Chris Jones actually fell to the second round. And we'll turn over every stone we can to find them. But would I love to add one of those guys? Heck yeah, I would. But we have a cap. We pick where we pick. You got to make the best, of what you got. And again, we would love to do that if that player's out there.
Now, Garrett's cap hit the final 2 years of his current deal, which is around $20 million each season, though the 29-year-old likely will be looking for a new deal from whichever team acquires him. Coming up next on Daybreak, a Western New York Air Base could soon play a key role in immigration efforts. We'll tell you where and what that would look like.
Plus, some new efforts are hoping to prevent incidents on the road. What you need to know about the new cameras installed in North Tonawanda.
And right now, a live look outside. 6:26 on Daybreak and 28 degrees. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Rooftop Weather is sponsored by Seneca Resorts and Casinos. Nothing else comes close.
Right now on Daybreak, lawmakers making their pitch to use a local airbase for deportation flights. We explain the recommendation made to the defense secretary.
Plus, new cameras make their way to the streets of North Tonawanda, how a new pilot program aims to improve safety.
And Forest Lawn is getting in the spirit of love. How you can celebrate Valentine's Day there. Yes.
Love every life.
Live from 2 on your side, this is Channel 2 News Daybreak.
Hey, good morning. 6:30 now on Tuesday, February 4th. I'm Pete Gallivan.
And I'm Melissa Holmes. Oh, honey, I have a really romantic idea. Let's go to the cemetery for Valentine's Day. We'll explain what that's all about. But first, let's get a check of the forecast with Patrick. What's going on?
Pete's take on it, though. Everlasting love. That's a nice way to describe that.
That's true.
Bizarre situation.
There you go.
Of where to celebrate
learn more.
romance. Anyway, moving on. We'll take a look at that, show you that coming up. 29 degrees, temperatures continuing to slide. We were in the mid-30s earlier, so yeah, numbers coming down. 27 in Jamestown, 30 in Niagara Falls, 27 in Olean. It is quiet now overnight. Had a little freezing drizzle again, so it's a little, your windshield maybe a little icy. The flow now was from the northwest, which means might pick up a little cool pocket of air, some moisture from the lakes, and we could see a quick snow shower at times today. Notice midday, a few of those snow showers moving through as temperatures continue to kind of slide south through the day today. We'll probably be in the mid-20s at noon, low 20s this afternoon with a bit of a breeze, so wind chills in the teens today. It's going to be cold, especially tomorrow. All right, we'll talk about your long-range forecast, which does include some ice and snow. Details coming up, but now with a look at the roads, here's Dave.
Thanks. Good morning to you, Patrick. Some icy spots out there this morning. We do have a minor two-vehicle accident, Kensington Avenue and Pulteney Avenue. They do have a tow truck on the scene here now. This is for a broken down vehicle on the 90 West ramp to the inbound 33. There's another stranded motorist. It's on the outbound 33 at the 90 on the right shoulder. This morning here is a live view of the 219 North on the left at Southwestern Boulevard. Everything is moving well there and headed into downtown on the 190 South on the left here at Ontario Street. Also in good shape. Again, neighborhood side streets. Some of the secondary roads are going to be very slick this morning. And also the bridges, overpasses, and on and off ramps. Reduce your speed this morning. Back to you, Pete and Melissa.
Okay, Dave, thanks for the heads up this morning. Developing overnight, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says El Salvador's president is offering to accept deportees from the U.S. Now, that would include any of those from any nationality, including violent American criminals that are imprisoned here in the States. This comes as Rubio travels to visit 5 nations in Central America as part of President Trump's efforts to crack down on immigration. And part of those plans include ramping up deportation flights.
And here in Western New York, some lawmakers are making their pitch to use a local air base for those flights. The Niagara Falls Air Reserve Station is being considered as a way to house detainees and provide a site for deportation flights. Congress members Nick Langworthy and Claudia Tenney, who both represent parts of Western New York, made the recommendation in a letter sent to Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
We put it out there as a strong suggestion that it's strategically located. Being so close to the Canadian border, there is a uptick in activity at the Canadian border. That's something that we desperately hope that our Canadian partners help us curb.
And the Buffalo ICE office says this would also help ease bed space at the ICE detention facility in Batavia.
A Dunkirk man faces time behind bars after admitting that he illegally brought Guatemalan migrants across the border and forced them to work on farms in the Dunkirk area. Federal prosecutors say 33-year-old Augusto Francisco would charge the migrants for housing and rides to work while taking a cut of their wages that they earned while working on the farms. One of the victims was a 16-year-old girl who Francisco raped a number of times. He abducted and kidnapped her, and after she tried to escape, this 16-year-old was rescued by police both times. Francisco faces life in prison and will be sentenced in May.
A major drug bust in Western New York has recovered $12 million worth of pills. Edwin Miguel Batista of Queens was charged as a result of an investigation that started back in November. DEA agents say they saw Batista make multiple trips between a self-storage facility in Niagara Falls and several post offices in Western New York. Prosecutors say agents found more than 1.2 million pills, weighing in at nearly 850 pounds. Batista is being held without bail.
It is 6:35 on Daybreak, and there's a new law coming out of Albany. New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed a bill yesterday that aims to protect abortion providers. Under the new law, doctors can now request that their personal names not be printed out on medication used for abortion. Instead, the name of the practice will be printed on the prescription labels. This comes as states with tougher abortion restrictions have taken legal steps against New York doctors who prescribe abortion medication out of the state.
As other states turn to the dark ages, New York remains committed to being the light, a beacon for reproductive freedom. Providing abortion care by telehealth or mail can be a life-saving intervention for people living in states where their most basic right to control their own bodies is denied.
And just last week, a Louisiana grand jury indicted a New York doctor for prescribing abortion medication in that state. The governor also announced more than $3.4 million in funding will help reduce gun violence here in Western New York. It's part of the effort to support Snug Street outreach programs. In Buffalo, ECMC was awarded a $2.8 million grant, and in Niagara Falls, more than $677,000 was given to Community Missions of Niagara Frontier. The grants will allow professionals to work with at-risk individuals.
6:36 now, and if you drive through North Tonawanda as part of your commute, you're going to want to be extra mindful on the roads. There are some newly installed cameras in places like school zones. It's part of a pilot program called Let's Drive Safe. Those cameras will help track unsafe driving habits like running stop signs, speeding, and cell phone use. The initiative was inspired by an incident that happened months ago when a crossing guard near a school was hit by a driver who allegedly ignored traffic laws.
We want to look at ways that we can make our streets safer, make pedestrians feel safer, and really just improve our intersections and roadways.
Now, the cameras will move weekly, but officials won't reveal their exact locations to prevent drivers from just adjusting their behavior because they know they're being watched. And with this being a data-only program, no tickets will be issued at this time.
6:37 on Daybreak, and we are getting new record numbers coming out of the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. Now that the holiday travel season is behind us, new numbers show the airport saw 5 million passengers travel through it in the past year. It's a major milestone, and it marks a return to pre-pandemic numbers. A spokesperson with the NFTA attributes the growth to multiple factors, including the 12 new nonstop routes that have been added. Buffalo already has its eyes set on the next goal, with the hopes to get 5.5 million travelers by this time next year. Buffalo National Reading Program is expanding its footprint here in Western New York. Later this morning, Erie County officials will announce plans to restart Dolly Parton's Imagination program at the nonprofit Read to Succeed Buffalo. We're told thousands of dollars in funding will help the program in giving free books to local children up to age 5. And we'll have more of those details once we learn more.
Well, after success last year, Forest Lawn Cemetery is bringing back its Valentine's Day themed trolley rides. Starting this weekend, rides will offer people a chance to celebrate love and learn about history. The Love You to Death tour includes biographies and historical information. Trolley stops include the Blocker Memorial, which tells the tale of love and loss.
The concept "love you to death" really comes from that phrase, meaning to love something so much. And what better place to talk about love than a cemetery? And you wouldn't believe how many love stories we have here, both romantic love, but also love of all kinds, neighborly love, patriotism, love of music. And we cover all of that in this tour.
And there are only a couple of tickets left for this weekend, so you want to act fast. Tours will also take place, though, Valentine's Day weekend. And for more information, you can just head to WGRZ.com.
Till death do us part, right?
That's right. And, yeah, and they stopped by Rick James' gravesite. for his love of music.
How romantic.
Yes, there you go.
He had a romantic side. You know he did.
Yeah.
You know he did.
You are a super freak after all, Patrick.
And she was a very special girl. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Let's take a look and show you what's going on outside. It's getting a little cooler as the day unfolds. Good morning, everyone. Bus stop. It's going to be dry, right around 30 or so. But as the kids come home, there could be some snow showers around, and temperatures will be 5 to 10 degrees colder than it is now. So it is going to be getting chillier. In fact, by 4, we're down into the low to mid 20s. Snow showers will have passed through for the most part by then, but we could see a few around midday into the early afternoon. Tomorrow morning, yeah, it's going to be half the number that we have now. We're going to be in the low to mid teens, and we're going to stay in the 20s with a mix of sun and clouds. It's Thursday morning that may have more of an issue as we bring in some freezing rain around here. It doesn't look like a major event at this point, but ice and travel not always go hand in hand. So we're gonna have to watch how slippery things may get Thursday morning, and then it should transition to rain after that. On Friday, we're colder again, and then we're watching another system for the weekend that will bring some snow Saturday, late in the day, evening, maybe mixed with some sleet Saturday night. So that's a system to watch. We have 2 on the way, and more next week. Have the long-range forecast coming up.
Okay, Patrick, thank you. And coming up after the break, a rundown of your local headlines, plus finding beauty through care and connection. How the Roswell Salon is offering patients a makeover inside and out. Yeah.
Welcome back. 6:44 now on Daybreak, and we're celebrating Western New York at a special salon that is making cancer patients feel beautiful.
2 On Your Side's Lauren Hall explains how the salon is giving them a makeover while also making them feel good inside and out.
In the in-house salon at Roswell Park, which has a new name as of now. Ever since Kimberly Parker was diagnosed with uterine cancer 2 years ago, she has had a lot of appointments at Roswell Park.
Yeah, I started off with a surgery and then radiation and then chemotherapy. And right now I'm currently doing, still doing treatment as well.
The appointments she's looked forward to the most, though, were at Roswell's hair salon.
Yes, it's very, very nice to have it right here on campus where you receive a lot of the other services that they have here that you need.
The stylists in the salon provide patients with pre-treatment haircuts, as well as help them choose wigs, hats, and headscarves, and it's all free of charge.
They are very expensive, especially when you go to the outside, and they offer an array of different options, which I was really surprised about as far as length, texture, style. You could imagine they have it right here in the salon.
And now this oasis has a new look, name, and partner. The New Era Cap Foundation's Elevate Salon.
You don't feel like you're there for any type of cancer treatment. You feel like you are there getting taken care of, getting pampered, being loved. So it really does. It's a confidence builder, and it's wonderful.
The New Era Cap Foundation provided new artwork, custom headwear, and the peace of mind that this salon will be part of Roswell for years to come.
Oh, hair is very important, and the way it looks, and so having that salon here is, oh my gosh, it's a necessity.
On your side, Lauren Hall, Channel 2 News.
Lauren, thanks very much. It is 6:46 now on Daybreak, and time to check in with Dave Cash. Morning, Dave.
Good morning to you, Pete and Melissa. We do have a minor accident. 2 vehicles involved, no injuries at Kensington Avenue and Pulteney Avenue this morning. Use caution because area roads, especially neighborhood side streets, are very icy as you head out the door. They have a flatbed tow truck here for this vehicle that slid into the fence and off the right side of the ramp from the 90 west to the inbound 33. We also have got a broken down vehicle that is on the right shoulder of the outbound 33 right at the ramp to the 90 west with its flashers on this morning. Use caution on the bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps. Here's a live view of the 190 south on the right at the off ramp to the Skyway, 190 north on the left at Church Street this morning, moving well on the major routes. And today from 9 a.m. till 2 p.m. they're going to have lane restrictions on the 219 north between Big Tree and Mile Strip Road, 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. for traffic transmitter installation. I could explain it to you, but we don't have enough time left on Daybreak. Back to you, Pete and Melissa.
All right, thank you very much, Dave. We'll just have to look it up. 6:47 now on Daybreak, and time for the stories you need to start your day. And tariffs take center stage this morning. We're following new developments overnight.
Tariffs against China went into effect, and China responded with taxes of its own. Right now, Chinese goods coming to America will face a 10% tax. In return, China will tax U.S. coal, natural gas, oil, and pickup trucks, among other products. Meanwhile, tariffs on Mexico and Canada are currently on hold for 30 days as negotiations continue.
A trial is scheduled to begin today for the man accused of trying to kill author Salman Rushdie at the Chautauqua Institution in 2022. Hadi Matar faces charges including attempted murder, assault, and providing support to terrorists. The trial has been rescheduled several times. Just last year, Matar rejected a plea deal that would have shortened his potential prison term.
A retired Buffalo police officer accused of shooting a teenager is expected to be back in court. 65-year-old Antonio Roman was charged with assault and reckless endangerment. He's accused of approaching a group of people suspected of stealing from vehicles, and he's accused of shooting a teen in that group. He's pled not guilty to the charges against him. If he is convicted, he could spend up to 25 years in prison. Switching gears now, this morning we are celebrating West Seneca West students who are getting a feel of what their future could be if they go into this business.
That's right. And Daybreak's Natalie Foss is in studio now to tell us more. Good morning, Natalie.
Melissa, good morning. Over 100 students Are a part of the TV production course at West Seneca West High School, where each morning they work in teams to do a live broadcast of their morning announcements. Their classroom is complete with a full studio setup, including 2 sets. They have a green screen to do the weather and cameras equipped with teleprompters. They also have a full control room and equipment for students to take out of the classroom to work on stories. The most impressive part of the entire class is that each broadcast is run 100% by the students, with guidance from their teachers, of course. Their broadcast is live throughout the school at the end of their first period each day. The students told me that while it's a challenge sometimes to be independent and to work together, it makes them feel like real adults, and they love the feeling when each show goes well. Pete, Melissa.
All right, Natalie, thank you. Well, acting Buffalo Mayor Chris Scanlon is set to give testimony in Albany today. Scanlon's office says he will testify before the New York State Joint Legislative Budget Committee. We're told that he will advocate for key legislative and funding priorities for the city of Buffalo. Scanlon is expected to give his testimony around noon today.
And a boil water order remains in effect this morning in the village of Fredonia and the town of Pomfret. Every Fredonia water customer is being warned about a disruption in the disinfection treatment. Customers will be notified when the water is safe to use again.
And just into our newsroom, a boil water order and boil and water conservation notice is in effect for the village and town of Warsaw. Officials say that the water system lost pressure last night because of a water main break.
North Tonowanda's popular farmers market is coming into focus. During his State of the City address yesterday, Mayor Austin Tylik said he's applied for a $750,000 grant to help renovate the space. North Tonowanda's farmers market has been voted America's #1 farmers market for 2 years in a row.
Well, a firefighter was rushed to the hospital after a house fire in Corfu. We're told the injured firefighter fell off a ladder. Fortunately, no one was inside the home at the time of the fire on East Main Street. The county's director of emergency management says that the home appears to be a total loss.
And the Sabres will wrap up their homestand against Columbus tonight. Big lineup question is circling around star forward Tage Thompson. He has 8 points over the last 3 games, but took a headshot in the third period against New Jersey. Had to leave the game. We'll learn more about his status this morning in just a few hours.
Right now, a live look outside, 6:51 and 28 degrees. Stay with us. Daybreak will be right back.
Good morning, everyone. 6:52 is the time. We have got a day where the temperatures are going to go the wrong way. We're going to be trending down as the day goes on. So, getting cold again. Possible snow showers midday into the early afternoon. This new area of chill is going to last through tomorrow. So we have a cold couple of days ahead. And we're watching Thursday morning as freezing rain may come into play, making for some slippery roads, something we're watching for Thursday. Today, though, pretty quiet. Temperatures, though, will be trending down as the wind now coming out of the northwest may pick up some of these snow showers and let them drift over western New York again around midday. So there is a chance of a few snow showers. Notice your temperatures this afternoon in the low 20s, wind chills in the low teens. So it's going to feel pretty chilly. Tomorrow, also in the mid 20s, a dry day, but then we get to Thursday. More on that coming up. All right, so notice quiet this morning. There are some of the snow showers around lunch into the early afternoon. Temperature is still kind of going down. Tomorrow morning, cold. Temperatures in the teens, wind chills possibly in the single digits. And then as we head into the afternoon, partly sunny skies, but temperatures still well below freezing into the mid-20s. Now, the next system comes Thursday, and it brings with it warmer temperatures. So we may initially see some snow, but as temperatures up high warm, down low stay cold, you can get a freezing rain setup. So some ice beginning in the morning, and it will take us into the morning drive. It doesn't look like a major accumulation here, but for the southern tier, we could get 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch that could collect on trees, and there will be some wind here, so that could bring some tree limbs down pretty easily. So something we're going to watch. This is through the morning drive. Not much ice accumulation in Buffalo, but enough to possibly slow things down. Then it changes to rain showers as temperatures really warm. Did you see that in the afternoon? We're almost at 40 later in the day. The pink is where we have the best chance of getting some accumulations of ice. Again, pretty minor in Buffalo, but down for the southern tier, it could get pretty slippery. So for today, snow showers, temperatures sliding throughout the day. As we head into tonight, down to 15. Long range forecast. So that's Thursday, Friday dry, Saturday, late in the day, Saturday night, snow. Maybe mixing with some sleet, and then snow showers on Sunday as temperatures cool again into next week. And for the south towns in the southern tier, a similar setup, really watching that potential for ice on Thursday morning. And then the next system we're watching brings snow Saturday, late in the day, Saturday night with some sleet into Super Bowl Sunday, which will feature snow in the morning, but getting cold again. As this warm February that we advertised is coming to fruition.
That we advertised? That you promised?
It really, okay, it's going to be warmer than January, but it
doesn't take much to be warmer than January
and
either.
It looks really active storm-wise for the next 2 weeks. So lots of opportunities for these snows and sleets.
But as long as it stays around freezing, I consider that a warmer February.
Exactly, good point.
Positive Pete.
Yep, that's me. Everyone knows it. Thanks for joining us
Bye,
for Daybreak.
everybody.